In this unit, we're learning about quadratic equations. It can be written in the form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, but a cannot be 0. For linear equation, we only have bx plus c equals 0, which is x to 1 power. But with quadratic, we need x squared term. This format is called the standard form, but it can also be written in different formats as well. For example, x squared equals 25, 4x squared plus 4x minus y equals 0, 3x squared equals 4x minus 8. And in this unit, we're going to learn how to solve this equation for x. The first format that we can use to solve is this form x squared equals k. For example, x squared plus 16, we can solve for x by using the square root property. So the square root property is that if x squared equals k, then x is equal to square root of k, or x equals to negative square root of k. So let's try x squared equals 16. That means x equals to square root of 16, or x equals to negative square root of 16. So x equal to 4 or x equal to negative 4. You can check, 4 squared is 16, negative 4 squared is also 16. X squared equals to 10, that means x is square root of 10, or x equal to negative square root of 10. And square root of 10 cannot be simplified any further, so we can do without that. But we can also combine the two together. We can also write x equals to plus or minus square root of 10. X squared equals to 8. X equals plus or minus square root of 8. And 8 can be written as 2 times 4. And square root of 4 is 2, so we can bring out the 2. So this is plus or minus 2 square root of 2. This one looks a little different, but it works the same way. So this is square of x minus 2 equals to 9. So we can say that x minus 2, the whole x minus 2, that equals to square root of 9, or x minus 2 equals negative square root of 9. So x minus 2 equals to 3, or x minus 2 equals to minus 3. And then we solve each equation for x. So add 2 on this side, so x equals to 5, and the same for this one, x equals to minus 1. 2x plus 5 squared equals 16. I mean 2x plus 5 equals to square root of 16, or 2x plus 5 equals to negative square root of 16. So we can solve 2x plus 5 equals 4 or negative 4, and then we solve each equation for x. We solve as x is negative 1/2, or x equal to negative 9/2. X squared equals to negative 25. So if for real numbers, this equation would have no solution because a square of a number cannot be negative. But since we did learn about complex numbers, we can solve this equation. So we follow the same rule. So x equals to square root of negative 25, or x equals to negative square root of negative 25. And this have x to be 5i. For this one, this x is negative 5i, and we can write as x equals to plus or minus 5i. We can check 5i squared is 25i squared, which is negative 25. Also with negative 5i squared is 25i squared, so that's negative 25. You can also think of this negative 25 can be written as 25i squared plus I squared is negative 1. So square root of 25 is 5, and square root of I squared is I. Similarly, for x squared equals negative 49, that means x equals to square root of negative 49, or x equals to negative square root of negative 49. and negative 49 is 49i squared. So x is then 7, square root of 49 is 7, and square root of I squared is I. So x is plus or minus 7i. Next, we're going to learn how to factor in trinomial. Trinomial means there are 3 terms. For example, 2x squared plus 7x plus 6. So if we have a quadratic equation that has 3 terms, like this, 2x squared plus 7x plus 6 equals 0, we cannot use the square root technique. We cannot do x equals to square root of something because there's x squared term, but also there's an x term there. So we cannot use this strategy. So we have to learn how to factor. So the technique to factor this is to first multiply the first term and the third term. In this case, 2 and 6. So the product of 2 and 6 is 12. And then we need to find 2 numbers whose product is 12 and the sum is equals to the middle term, which is 7. So 12 can be written as 2 times 6. Can also be 3 times 4. Can also be 12 times 1. Among these combinations, 2 plus 6 is 8, 3 plus 4 is 7, and 12 plus 1 is 13. And the one we want is the one that equals to the middle term, 7. So we can use 3 and 4. Once we get 3 and 4, we can rewrite 7x as 3x plus 4x. Now we can group the term. So we can use the first 2 terms and the last 2 terms. So 2x squared plus 3x and 4x plus 6. And then we factor each group. So 2x squared plus 3x have x in common. So we can factor out the x. So that leaves us 2x plus 3. And for the second group, 4x and 6 has 2 in common. So we factor out the 2. So we get 2x plus 3 here. And the result should have something that these 2 new groups now have in common. So this one has 2x plus 3 and also 2x plus 3, so we can factor out the 2x plus 3. So we get 2x plus 3, so we're going to left with x and 2. So now we got the factor. So 2x squared plus 7x plus 6 is the same thing as 2x plus 3 times x plus 2. And we can check this by multiplying back and we would obtain the original. So the idea though, if we have an equation 2x squared plus 7x plus 6 equals 0, we can rewrite it as 2x plus 3 times x plus 2 equals 0. And since 2 numbers multiply each other and give 0, then we can say 2x plus 3 is 0 or x plus 2 equals 0. And then we can solve for x for each case. And we'll look into this in a little bit. But now let's practice some factoring. So 4x squared plus 11x plus 6, so we multiply 4 times 6 is 24. Then we rewrite 24 as product of 2 numbers, so 24 can be written as 4 times 6. Also, it can be 3 times 8. It can be 2 times 12. It can also be 1 times 24. So now we do the sum. 4 plus 6 is 10. 3 plus 8 is 11. 2 plus 12 is 14. And 1 plus 24 is 25. So the one we want is 11. So this is the one that we want. So now we can rewrite this as 4x squared plus 3x plus 8x plus 6. So the order actually doesn't matter. You can write 8x first or 3x first. They're both gonna give the same result. In this case, we can still group the first two terms together for x squared plus 3x plus 8x plus 6. Now we start factoring each group. So these two terms have x in common, so we can factor out the x, so that gives us 4x plus 3. And these two terms has 2 in common, so that 4x plus 3. Now we see this has 4x plus 3 and this has 4x plus 3, so we can factor out 4x plus 3. So that was with x plus 2. For this one, don't worry about equal 0, you can cross that part out. So 2x squared plus 5x plus 3, 2 times 3 is 6. 6 can be written 2 times 3 or 6 times 1. And 2 plus 3 equals to 5, so that's the one we want. So we can break the 5x in 2x and 3x. So now we factor the first group. So 2x, they have 2x in common, so that's 2x times x plus 1. But with x plus 3, it has 3 in common. So we factor out the 3, we'll get x plus 1. Now we can factor out x plus 1 and x plus 1. We get x plus 1 times 2x plus 3. (3x squared plus 2x minus 5). So 3 times negative 5 is negative 15. And negative 15 can be written as 3 times negative 15, 3 times negative 5. It can also be negative 3 times 5, 15 times negative 1, or negative 15 times 1. Then we do the same process. 3 minus 5 is negative 2. Negative 3 plus 5 is 2, and that's the one we want. So we can rewrite 3x squared minus 3x plus 5x minus 5. Then we can group into two groups. So 3x, this first two term has 3x in common. So we left with x minus 1. And these two terms have 5 in common. So now we get 5 times x minus 1. And finally, x minus 1 times 3x plus 5. 3x squared minus 8x plus 4. So we do 3 times 4, which is 12. So we can write that as 3 times 4, but it can also be negative 3 times negative 4, because negative times a negative number would be positive. If all the numbers here are all positive, we don't have to worry about the negative. But if there's a negative number here, then we have to list that too. So continuing, 2 times 6, also negative 2 times negative 6. 12 times 1, negative 12 times negative 1. And we want the sum to be negative 8. And so this is the one that works, negative 2 and negative 6. So we're going to use that to break down the negative 8. So 3x squared is negative 2x 9 minus 6x plus 4. And follow the same process. We factor the first two terms and then the last two terms. We get 3x minus 2 times x minus 2. So here's the zero factor property. So if two numbers, the product of two numbers are 0, then either of the two numbers is 0 or both are 0. So here 2x squared plus 7x plus 6 equals 0. On the previous switch, we factored this part to be 2x plus 3 equal 2x plus 3 times x plus 2. So we can rewrite that. And then we can solve this using the zero factor property. So the product of two numbers is 0. That means 2x plus 3 is 0. Or x plus 2 equals 0. And now we can solve each one for x. So 2x equals to minus 3, so that x equals to negative 3 half. For this one, x would be equals to minus 2. go ahead and try these and check the answers. A square of a binomial is a very useful property. X plus y, the whole sum squared equals x squared plus 2xy plus y squared. So it equals to the square of the first number plus 2 times the product of the two numbers and plus the square of the last number. And x minus y squared is similar. X squared minus 2xy plus y squared. So the difference between the top and the bottom is plus and minus. And here plus and minus for the middle term. The first term and the last term is the same, x squared and y squared, both positive. So the difference is the middle term. Minus, minus, plus, plus. So let's look at a few examples. X plus 2 squared. So x is the first term, and in this case the second term is 2. So that equals the square of the first term, which is x squared. Plus, since it's a plus, this is a plus. 2 times the first term, which is x, and the second term is 2. Finally, plus square of the last term, so that's 2 squared. In this case, it's x squared plus 4x plus 4. So this one, x minus 3 squared, so that's x squared. Minus, that's a minus 2 times the product. So 2 times x and 3. Plus square of the last term. So in this case, it's x squared minus 6x plus 9. X minus 1/2 squared, so that's x squared minus 2 times x times the last term, 1/2 plus 1/2 squared. So this is x squared minus x plus 1/4. This process also worked in reverse, so if we have something like this, we can also rewrite it as x plus 2 squared. Next, we're going to learn how to solve quadratic equation by using another method. It's called completing the square. We're going to use this process. So let's look at a few examples. X squared minus 4x minus 14 equals 0. So step 1 is to divide the equation by a. A in this case is 1, so this one you can skip step 1. Step 2 is to add the constant on both sides. So basically bring all the constants to the right side of the equation. So in this case it's 14, so we add 14, so we get x squared minus 4x equals 14. Now we look at the term that is in front of x, the coefficient that is in front of x. In this case it's minus 4. What we do is take half of it and then square it. So half of negative 4 is negative 2, and negative 2 squared is 4. Then we add 4 to each side. So add 4 and add 4. So the right side, we just simplify it to be 18. And the left side, this is in the format of x squared minus 2 times 2 times x plus 2 squared. Negative 4x, that's 2 times x, and 4 is 2 squared. So then this means that that's x minus 2 squared. So the left side becomes a square now, and the right side is just a number. And this is, now we can use the square root property. Square of a number is 18, then that means this number is plus or minus square root of 18. Then we can add 2 to both sides. So the left side now is just x. X is 2 plus or minus square root of 18. And square root of 18 we can simplify it to be 3 square root of 2, because that's 9 times 2. So that's this is the solution. Let's try a few examples. So now, again, this is 1, so we don't have to divide. So we can just minus 6 on both sides. X squared plus 4x equals minus 6. Now we do half of 4, which is 2. And then we do 2 square of that, that's 4. So now we add 4 to both sides. So then this is x squared 2 times x plus 2 square, and this is negative 2. So this is x plus 2 square equals to negative 2. So now we can solve x plus 2 then is equal to plus or minus square root of negative 2. And this happens to be plus or minus square root of 2 square root of 2 times I, or actually we should write I first, plus or minus I square root of 2, because this is plus or minus square root of 2I squared. So square root of 2 we cannot simplify, but I squared we can. Then we can add minus 2 on both sides. So x equals to minus 2 plus or minus I square root of 2. So here x squared plus 6x minus 3 equals 0. So add 3 on both sides. X squared plus 3x equals 3. So now look at 6, take half of 6, that's 3, and then square it. So that's 9, so we add 9 to both sides. So the left side is a square, so x squared 2 times 3 times x plus 3 square, and the right side is 12. So this is x plus 3 square equals 12. Then we can solve x plus 3 equals plus or minus square root of 12, which simplifies to be 2 square root of 3. So then we can add minus 3 on both sides, or subtract 3 on both sides. We get x equal minus 3 plus, so minus 2 square root of 3. So here, 15, so negative 15 on both sides. So x squared minus 10x equals negative 15. Then take half of negative 10, which is negative 5, and square it, that will be 25. So we add 25. So the left side becomes a square. The right side is 10, so x minus 5 squared is 10. So x minus 5 equals plus or minus square root of 10. So x is 5 plus or minus square root of 10. Go ahead and try these and then check the answers. The third one here is different because there's a 2 in front of x squared, so in this case we have to divide each term by 2. So this now is just 1, and 6 divided by 2 is 3, and negative 5 divided by 2 is negative 5 over 2. But the rest of the step is the same. So far we learned 3 different ways to solve quadratic equations, using square root property, using factoring, and completing the square. So here's the fourth and final method, and it's called the quadratic formula. So given equation ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, a not being 0, the answer, the solution to the equation is x as minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So for example, 2x squared minus 3x minus 5 equals 0. So in this case, a is 2, b is minus 3, and c is minus 5. So then x is minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Minus b would be minus 3 plus or minus 3 squared minus 4 times a, and c is negative 5, over 2 times a. Then you can just simplify. So this is 3 plus or minus square root of 9. This is plus 40 over 4. So this is 3 plus or minus square root of 49 over 4. So that's 3 plus or minus 7 over 4. So this one, 3 plus 7, so 3 plus 7 over 4, 3 minus 7 over 4. So x is, this is 10 over 4, or x is minus 4 over 4, which is negative 1. This is actually 5 over 2. So in this case we can just plug in the value a, b, c into this formula and find x right away. Go ahead and try these and check the answers. There are a couple of special cases. The first case is that the equation can have just one root. So for example, in this case, x squared minus 2x plus 1 equals 0. So using the quadratic formula, we get x equals to 1. So underneath the square root here, it ends up being 4 minus 4, which is 0. So the result is just one number. Same thing here with x squared plus 10x plus 25 equals 0. So the square root of this part, b squared minus 4ac, end up being 0. So we're left with just, you have 10 over 2, so we get negative 5. And this actually can be written as, this is actually a complete square. X squared minus 2x plus 1, that's actually x minus 1 square. This case is the same. This one is actually x squared plus 2 times 5 times x plus 25 plus 5 squared. So that's actually x plus 5 squared equals 0. So if it's the left side is complete square, so that's only one root. In this case, minus 5. In this case, x would be 1. It's also possible to have complex roots. So if the b squared minus 4ac term is negative, then we have a square root of a negative number, then we would have a complex root. So for example, in this case, x squared minus 4x plus 5. So the inside of the square root ends up to be 16 minus 20, so that's negative 4. So that's 4i squared, which is 2i. So the result here is 4 plus or minus 2i over 2, and the result is 2 plus or minus I. Similar here, b squared minus 4ac, so that's 9 minus 16, so negative 7. So that's I squared root of 7.